Welcome Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, Proline. Must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus online, and for Ontario residents only. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Lindsay Dunn alongside Cabbie and Dan Riccio. Happy Monday to you guys. So much to talk about. We also have Pascal Siakam and Brad Jacobs on the show. We're going to talk NFL, hockey, Raptors, all the good stuff, but we have to start when we talk about the Blue Jays, because fans either really upset or not so upset about the news that broke on Friday. That being, Bo Bichette is now a New York Met. The deal, let's take a look at it, worth around $42 million to play, what, third base? Dan, I'll start off
42 sheets. That's pretty impressive.
What's your thoughts just on this deal with the Mets and overall Bo no longer being a part of the Blue Jays organization?
Well, I think that's the part that hurts for Jays fans the most, is Bo Bichette is no longer a Blue Jay. You know, he came back on one leg in the World Series, hits that home run in Game 7, and, you know, it kind of felt like anybody and everybody had embraced Bo in a way that they maybe never had before. I mean, he's always been a fan favorite, but that just took his status as a Blue Jay to another level, and now it's over. So it's tough to have it play out that way. I think for a lot of Jays fans, there was all the excitement of Tucker or Bo, and they're going to get one, and it's going to be a perfect offseason. Now you don't have that. So I think there's just a vibe of, you know, excitement from the early part of the offseason has now led to a little bit of disappointment because that one big finishing piece wasn't added. But I don't think we should take away from what's been a really strong Jays offseason, even if it's sad to see Bo Bichette in blue and orange instead of blue and white.
If I'm at that series, either June 29th, June 30th, or July 1st, where the Mets play in Toronto, I'm giving that dude a standing ovation. That home run in Game 7 of the World Series, we're up 3-0. I mean, just for that, I'm giving the dude a standing ovation. I'm sad to see him go, but you're right, Dan. Like the offseason for Toronto started on such a high, and now as Toronto sees Kyle Tucker go to LA and sees Bo Bichette go to New York, it feels kind of disappointing. But I'm sure Bo's not disappointed. I mean, I saw this stat online. Dante Bichette, his dad, his career earnings $42.8 million. Bo Bichette will earn $42 million. Sorry, 42.8. Will earn $42 million in year one of his deal with the New York Mets. And Lindsay, you said it. Like, New York's infield pretty stacked, and he has to play third base. Juan Soto at first, Marcus Semien, former Blue Jay, at second, Francisco Lindor at short, and Bo Bichette at third. He's never played at third professionally in baseball. I guess we'll see. It's an experiment worth having for the New York Mets, and Steve Cohen's like, just get me a star. You got one. You got an incredible contact hitter, and who will bat behind Juan Soto. We'll get into it tomorrow on Wednesdays. We have some baseball nerds and savants on the show. But I guess my reaction, Lindsay, and I don't know if you share the same one, kind of like a little bit disappointed, and I'm sad to see him go. How did you experience the news Friday after the show?
Wiping a tear away right now from my eye. No, in all honestly, I was not surprised that he was not back with the Toronto Blue Jays for the upcoming season. Like Dan mentioned, you mentioned, just kind of seemed like the writing was on the wall, and that the Jays, didn't seem like it was the biggest priority for them. And throughout the season, when we would ask him pregame, postgame about a contract or anything, like both sides really didn't say much. And he wanted to get paid. He got paid. So I don't understand why people, I can get why they'd be so upset, but really he is getting overpaid. So if you are a Toronto Blue Jays fan, if you get away the emotional part of the fact that, he's been with the franchise his entire career, that they didn't have to overpay for him. The Blue Jays have a fantastic infield still. When you look at, hey, look at what Andres Jimenez, what he can do. You had Clement, Barger, we had an Okamoto. It's just, or Kazuma. It's just, I'm not upset with it. That's such an inside joke. That's just how Witt says his name every single time he talks about him, because he's so excited that he's a Blue Jay. I understand why people are upset, but my gosh, the money being thrown around in free agency. I'm also glad they didn't get Tucker, because I just cannot stop thinking about the deal with Kyle Tucker, that he's getting paid without the deferrals, whatever. $60 million to be somebody that's like, what, batting fifth? That's not even like a superstar on their team, is just insane. But seeing Bo in that photoshopped AI thing that the New York Post put out on their paper the next day was something a little weird that we'll have to like get used to. And they said, you gotta Bo leave. So good for him. We'll see how this plays out. I also agree that he should get a standing ovation when he returns, because on one leg, basically, he hit that home run in Game 7. And yeah, I understand it's a bittersweet time for Toronto Blue Jays fans, but they still had a great offseason. And now the big name being thrown around the Blue Jays is Cody Bellinger, where his contract with his agent, which by the way is Scott Boras, apparently there's quite a difference in how much money that they're looking for. I'm not sure if you want to see the Blue Jays try to shell out a bunch for him, but he had a great season. But like you mentioned, Cabbie, if you want to add to that, you can, for sure.
One quick note about salaries thrown around. I saw this stat, I think it was in the Athletic. 7 players have signed contracts with an annual average value of $42 million or more. 4 of them had played for the New York Mets. Juan Soto, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and now Bo Bichette. Like, baseball money. I was saying to a friend over the weekend, basketball players take a lot of heat from casual fans. Oh, this person makes this person makes this. Look at baseball money. Like, Google Mike Trout's. And listen, get what you earn and get what you can. Keep collecting those checks. Google Mike Trout's contract. Google Juan Soto's contract. Google Shohei Ohtani's. If baseball money is wild, then it is understood why owners want salary caps. Who knows what happens in, I think the next, is it this season collective bargaining is up, or is it by 29?
Next December.
Okay, like the bargaining. So, that's going to be hotly contested. Either way, as fans, we will enjoy the action on the field, because that's the best part of baseball. And we will enjoy the ups and downs that the Toronto Blue Jays give us this season. Whether Cody Bellinger is in a Blue Jays jersey or not, which I doubt, but it'll still be a wild ride. And we'll get into the AL East. We'll hit Seattle. It's going to be an exciting season, obviously, and our expectations are sky high, because the front office has really just given us so much catnip in the moves that it's made in the last 2 months. I went from catnip instead of cocaine. I went down.
We toned it down a bit. It's a Monday morning.
There's a lot of goodwill that the front office has built up, obviously, through the last year. But remember, like April and May, when things weren't going so well, the knives were out once again for Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro. And I think there is an element here where that can turn again quickly. Now, like, the Jays did pretty much everything that they could. I mean, the reported offer for Kyle Tucker was $350 million over 10 years. That came from multiple sources. John Heyman, Ken Rosenthal, multiple of the insiders had that out there, and it's not too far off from what we'd been hearing throughout the whole process. But when the Dodgers step in and give him 60 sheets a year, and the total value of the contract, he's getting 70% of what the Blue Jays offered in total through 4 years rather than 10, like, any one of us would have taken that deal that Kyle Tucker ends up signing with the Dodgers. So the Jays front office has done everything to try and get that finishing piece. I think you could take a lot of value in that. And Cody Bellinger, no, he ain't it. Let the Yankees go and overspend on Cody Bellinger. I mean, they're desperate to sign anybody this offseason now. Let the Yankees go and overpay on Cody Bellinger. You can play this out. If you're Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, you feel great about the offseason that you had, even if you don't land Kyle Tucker or Bo Bichette here. But now you have to put that priority in season. If it's Stephen Kwan, who's been linked to the Blue Jays in the past, or somebody of that ilk, that's where you go when you get closer to the deadline and see how aggressive you want to be. But you look at the free agency pool that's left, I just don't see a bat that's out there that's really going to help the Blue Jays.
Heck, I'm okay, and I say this jokingly, if they overpay to get Cody Bellinger on the Jays rotation, just because then you could say again, the Yankees lose. You know how mad that fan base would be if he came.
Yankees lose.
If he signed with the Jays just for that reason alone, and then the headlines, and then, you know, like their tabloid magazines, how they would put the cover on that, how he came to the Jays. I love that kind of storyline, but I'm okay if they don't shill out $1 billion. But yeah, I would love $60 million to play a game every year. Like, come on. Our salary is like $54.4 million each after deferred, you know, payments. Yes. But that we can discuss it another day. Like you mentioned, Cabbie, we're going to be talking baseball the next couple of days. But let's take a look at what happened in the hard court when we talk about like another LA team. Dodgers got Tucker. The Lakers took on the Raptors yesterday, where they were on a back-to-back. And the Lakers won 110-93. The good news was, hey, IQ was back up in the lineup. Bad news, CMB went down with a thumb sprain. X-ray showed that, you know, yeah, it was not great because he was having such a good time on the court and he was just impacting the game so much. So I don't really want to so much talk about the Raptors because it was a little rough. They were terrible offensively. They could not hit a bucket. So let's
39 points in the second half.
Yeah,
not great.
Just like second half. Listen to that stat. Second half. But let's go to the Lakers bench. And Timmy, who had a pretty great night. He didn't have the most points, but he definitely made an impact. And here's a moment from his post game.
You're sitting up here at a podium at a Laker game wearing a t-shirt that says sexual Tyrannosaurus.
I'm not big into fashion.
I disagree. It looks like
you're a Predator movie reference on the helicopter. This is my fashion. I like just some teas, I guess. My bad.
Okay. No, it's great.
Sexual Tyrannosaurus. I don't get the reference. All I know is that was like right now my favorite post-game moment from any team, and
that's pretty good. That's a hard one to beat.
Of all the things to wear to your post-game news conference, sexual Tyrannosaurus is the play. It's a bold choice by him. Bold choice by him.
You know he wasn't expecting. That guy never expects to be on a podium for the Lakers when you have LeBron and Luka on your team. Like never. So he just casually shows up on a Sunday. Yeah. He probably like left his crib from Redondo Beach and just had a nice cruise into crypto.com. Like this guy was the last thing he thought that morning when he woke up at I don't know, it's 7:30, throw on a t-shirt that he's going to be speaking to the media after the game against the Toronto Raptors. So Drew, Timmy, I mean, salute. It's very funny, bro.
Lakers PR goes up to him like, hey, you're doing media tonight. He's like, what? Me? Me? Wasn't
especially when Bron and Luka played last night on the back-to-back from Portland. So yeah, anyway, great clip, Liz.
Oh, I love that moment so much because exactly what you guys said. He's like, wait, I'm doing post-game. I guess I'm going to be wearing my sexual Tyrannosaurus shirt. This is amazing. It's just, I love that somebody called him out on it. And then it's just, the interaction was somewhat wholesome, but also not wholesome. And something that, you know, I couldn't handle that clip because I thought it was so funny is something the Raptors, for some reason, can't handle is zone defense, guys. Anytime they get the zone thrown up, they're like, what are we doing? So, Dan, when you're watching this game, you see CMB go down. You see, you know, Mamu had a great night off the bench. I think it was going to the third quarter. He pretty much had all of the points. But your reaction while watching that game?
Can somebody on the bench other than Mamu hit a bucket? That was, I know it's a little bit harsh, but like this is what's happening to the Raptors right now. And it's started to play out over the last couple of weeks where teams can go into their zone defense, and the Raptors, if they're not shooting well, are really easy to defend against. And that's a big issue for this team going through the second half of the season. You know, Grady Dick, he's had a good couple of performances, but the 3-ball, as we mentioned last week, still not dropping for him, and they need him to start dropping those. Ochai, need him to start dropping some triples on a more regular basis. Even your guy, Jamison Battle, I think those 3 were combined 0 for 6 from beyond the arc last night. The Raptors were 7 of 32, I think, for the entirety of the game from beyond the arc. I mean, it's oversimplifying their issues right now, but so much would open up for this team if they could just hit the 3-ball with more regularity than they have. And now that they aren't, teams are starting to defend them a certain way, make it harder for them to get in the paint, and just letting them try and hit some open threes. And until they start hitting them, it's not going to change.
Yeah, to follow your point there, Dan, it was on January 14th is when we saw Indiana just start using that zone, and the Raptors couldn't really break it, couldn't really figure it out. And it comes down to shooting 3-pointers. 3-pointers are a great way to break the zone. And Toronto was outscored by 21 points from downtown. That is a massive point differential when LA's hitting shots. Toronto loses back-to-back games for the first time in about a month. And after LeBron, this is in the fourth quarter, after LeBron makes a couple of baskets, then LA effectively goes on a 9-0 run. Toronto doesn't score for about 3.5 minutes. IQ has a nice layup. And then Scotty Barnes isn't at about the 9-minute mark. And then Scotty doesn't score till about the 5-ish minute mark. So that basically ended the game, any real comeback for Toronto. And out of nowhere, LA got the DeAndre Ayton game. This guy shot 100% from the field, 25 points, 13 rebounds. Yeah, Dave McMenamin tweeted after the game, it was the first time since 1978 that a Laker player had scored 25 or more points on 100% shooting with 0 turnovers. So those, the DeAndre Ayton game, Luka was great. LeBron was great. Those are the recipes for a Toronto loss. And I suppose they can kind of flush this one down the toilet, but they really need to get to the gym early. Guys need to start throwing up, do whatever. Remember that Kobe moment in Miami after a game? He had a terrible shooting night. Bro shot for 90 minutes, held up the bus, or he's like, you know what, just go to the hotel. I'm getting shots up. And maybe that's what the Raptors need to do. Or be like Grady Dick and show up, I don't know, 12 hours before the game or whatever, just to get some shots up. Toronto needs to start making some 3-pointers consistently, because other teams will be like, oh, Indiana did, LA did with the zone. That's what's going, that seems to be Toronto's Achilles heel right now, Lindsay.
Yeah, and then you look at who they're taking on next, Mr. Night and Steph Curry, like the king of the 3, like changing the game is just magic to watch. He can hit a shot anywhere on the court. And so what is like, oh man, their 3-point percentage, like you mentioned, has been a little bit dog poo-poo, if we're going to censor ourselves a little bit on this Monday morning. Doo-doo pie, that's the word you use, doo-doo pie. And they're going to take on Steph Curry, the king of the 3s, and they're just struggling so much from beyond the arc, which brings up a lot of questions. I know the fan base on Friday when I was there for the Clippers game, which Kawhi did not play in, just saying, they could not hit a 3 again. And they're like, well, what are they going to do at the trade deadline? Because when you look at the assets that they could potentially use, we've discussed this over and over again on this show about somebody like Ochai Agbaji, who's impacting their luxury tax. And now his salary would be an easy one to get rid of. But then you look at, oh, are they going to maybe put IQ in a deal or somebody else to try to bring somebody in that can actually shoot? I know everyone's also concerned about the center position, but exactly what Cabbie, you guys are saying, if you can't hit a 3-ball, you're kind of out of the game.
Yeah.
And that's Steph Curry.
One quick note that Matt Devlin said on the broadcast, said the Toronto scores the 5th fewest points in the NBA against the zone. I'm sure that's known by other coaching staffs. And yeah, that 3-ball is definitely a way to break that zone. And hopefully the guys put together some nice runs over the next few games. As you mentioned, Lindsay, Golden State next, then at Sacramento. They're struggling, but then we get to see their old pal DeMar DeRozan at Portland. Portland's a nice surprise. And then at OKC. Boy, that's a tough road swing. Yeah. Tough way to end the road swing there. Sorry, Linz.
Yeah, you never know. No need to be sorry. Is that you never know. Maybe they could have this crazy moment and they beat OKC and every other team that we just discussed, and their 3 points, like they also discover how to do zone, because it's exactly what you said, Cabbie. I was talking to Dan just quickly before the show. I said, I feel like the move by any coach is when the Raptors are playing okay, they just say zone, and then they immediately turtle and they don't know what to do with themselves. Like,
yeah.
It's hard when you don't hit the three. And the Raptors, like there was a stat before last week where if the Raptors shot under 26% from beyond the arc, they were 7-0. And I think that number is now 7-2 because they've gone below that 26% mark a couple of times in these recent losses. And it's just, if you're not hitting that shot, if you're not getting it consistently, teams don't have to respect it. And then it becomes very hard to spread the floor. And the Raptors do a lot of things really, really well. Like JJ Redick after the game was really complimentary of how athletic the Raptors are, how much they run. You could tell he kind of wishes his plotting team that basically can only play in the half court offense with Luka and LeBron, how he wishes he had some elements of the Raptors roster within his team, and how hard the Raptors do defend at times. But if you're not hitting the three, it's going to be hard for the Raptors. And that's the concern when you get closer to the playoffs and you get into the playoffs, and you're going to get into a playoff series this year at some point. Is it going to be too easy to defend against if you're not hitting the long shot?
Great question.
They haven't found an answer yet. So I don't right now, Darko is searching for it a little bit. And the best answer is like, hey, these guys like Grady Dick and guys that are supposed to be shooters, right? 3-and-D guys or whatever, these wings
Jacoby
that
Walter.
they've started to, they've collected to hit the three ball. Like, we just got to trust that they start hitting, because they're getting the looks. They're getting open looks. Shots are just not dropping.
Well, yeah, that was a promising sight on Friday against the Clippers. Ochai hit again a couple of threes, and you're like, okay, is this finally the part where he's going to get back? And then you saw Grady and them get an open look, and then it just went brick, 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 brick. And then you're like, oh, okay. We're going to have to sub in Dan or Cabbie at some point during this.
Yeah,
I do believe that they'll be able to.
No, definitely not.
I do believe someone's going to get on a hot streak, and they're going to hit some threes, and someone on the Raptors. It will be great. And then I know a storyline is always like, oh, if only they were all healthy. Well, that's every team. That is every team. If only they're feeling healthy. But you mentioned Matt Devlin, Cabbie. I actually was watching the Lakers feed just to see how they were talking about the team. And obviously you get a lot more shots of their coach. And so, Dan, you brought up JJ Redick, which the experience and experiment of him being as a head coach is one that I surprisingly enjoy, because as a player, he was a pest. You would see him like just causing some havoc on the court. And then as a coach, that's carried on over. You see him like go halfway down the court, trying to get a call, getting in the ref's face. And
I remember
like,
that. Yeah.
you guys saw it, because it's just like, sometimes what he does, I'm like, would other coaches get away with this? Because the guys that are reffing are guys that he played with while they were reffing. It's just, for me, it is so entertaining to watch that experience, and then watch him and Coach Darko at moments. It's like, this is just like almost a mini Darko at times, but also he's just such his own player. But what's it been like for you, Cabbie, just to see JJ as a coach, but also some of his hilarious moments in post game where he will not answer questions or just completely deflect?
Yeah, he sometimes he's a capital A-hole. And I enjoyed watching him on this podcast, Old Man in the Three with Tommy Alter. But like seeing him like as a coach, I want to say was 2 weeks ago, there was a stat, and he basically gave voice to the team performs better without LeBron on the floor. Like LeBron is a defensive liability. We all know Luka doesn't really excel at defense either. You have these generational superstars on offense, but on defense, them together, and he basically admitted as such. But how are you supposed to take out LeBron? Like, you can't, I can't remember. I think it was in hockey. I think the way that a coach can really send a message to the team is benching its star. You can't really do that in the NBA. I don't know if you can really do that in the NHL. Not a top line guy. I'm sure some coaches have wanted to, because like they need to just get control of the room. But JJ's always been a Okay, capital A authentic, capital A-hole at times. He's a Duke guy, so I never really enjoyed watching him. He was lights out from three. And in offense, the guy just, like we mentioned Steph Curry earlier, who just is constantly running because he can catch and shoot and create off the dribble. JJ was a catch and shoot guy. That was his specialty. So the dude is just running all the time. Again, defensive liability, but I enjoy how honest he is in front of hot mics, whether it was on his podcast or in front of the media, coaching the LA Lakers, which it's got to be one of the hardest jobs in sports. Managing an aging superstar, not just an aging superstar, but like the face of a league, like one of the most popular athletes in the history of Earth. So that's been my experience. I like to see the Lakers lose more often, though.
Me too. It's just always so weird for me still to see him on the sidelines as a coach, but good for him for being able to, make that transition to being bench boss. But somebody that he has not had the chance to coach, but had on his podcast is none other than P-Skills, Pascal Siakam. And today we have an exclusive interview with him. Now, a fun little fact, I'm just going to be honest, of some behind the scenes things that happened is he has something that is happening that is a great moment in his career that has not happened to any other Raptor, any other Pacers, and I actually don't know if it's happened to any other NBA player. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. on our YouTube, we're going to have that clip of him discussing this moment, but we cannot air it today. It was supposed to happen today. So we're going to air the other 4 minutes of the interview of things we can talk about, including how people still say his name wrong. Here's a look at the chat I had with Pascal in Indiana. The drive-in, giant picture of you on the stadium, giant banner, and your face is on the side of a building. Have you got used to driving in and seeing your face everywhere?
Nah, not really. I don't really say that much. You just informed me, but no, it feels good. Actually, on my where I live, I can see like a big picture of me too. So it's pretty funny to see. Like I wake up and then go to the balcony and be like, oh shit, okay, cut that out. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And like I said, it's a blessing.
Hundreds of thousands of people, once again, voting for you because they want to see you in the All-Star game. They're loving what you're doing on the court and off the court. Your head coach saying you're an amazing player to be around. But when it comes to this All-Star game, when you had that camcorder footage from like 1902, like who uses those anymore? How much footage did you have? And did you actually go through it all? Or
yeah, no, for sure. You can ask the team, PS43 production. We go through everything. We go through the footage, and it's exciting. Like All-Star is always a great time, and again, if I'm blessed to be there again, like it'll be awesome. And we always try to be creative and do something cool, and like that's why you have a whole production behind you. So I think. Looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get there and do some cool things.
Well, we'll be talking about the creative and cool part of you and the content team, but there's one thing I want to bring up. 10 years of you being in the association, and I still see people, I'm going to say politely, misinterpreting how to pronounce your last name.
Hey, it's Pascal Siakam.
Siakam. Pascal Siakam. So Siakam.
I mean, I think, I don't know how it still happens, but yeah, I guess it's part of it, being different, being from a different place. I think, for me, I just kind of like let it go and correct it if I can. If not, then it is what it is.
We corrected for you, just so you know. We got your back still very much. But you guys are so much fun. The content that you're putting out, obviously everyone's loving what you're doing on the court. You bring such hustle, grind, and passion to the game. But your Sunday bangers. Do we have another? Because like the Ed Sheeran one got us.
So I'll be waiting here for you. Banger!
Do you have one that you're thinking about right now?
I think we have some in the works. We definitely have some in the banks, and it's just something cool. I think again, I love music. I love just enjoying myself, and I'm just out there in the car or wherever I'm at, listening to some cool track and. We just put it out. We just decided to do it, and I think it's a feel-good thing, and I think people can relate to some of the songs and maybe me too, like the stories behind it. Like I said, I'm a big music head, and I thought it was a great ad to like some of the content we put out, and actually, get back to the bangers.
You're in choir before,
yeah.
right? Like, which section were you in?
Alto.
So people learned about you being in choir. Did you ever go into the studio, maybe secretly try to record some things? Come on, I know.
Definitely not. I can't do that. I used to say like I was good back then, but now like, you know, look at my voice. Like, you can hear me. Like, I don't think I can sing like that no more. So
It's auto-tune.
my dreams are gone, man. It was good while it lasted. So.
Well, that brings me to the one Sunday Bangers. You said it was a song that you used to sing for the Honeys in high school. Did that actually?
That?
Yes.
Oh.
Witness? Yes.
I used to sing this, man, the little honeys, in high school.
Did it actually work for the Honeys in high school when you sang for them?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think it did. You know, as a young kid out there, you know, just having fun. I think it did.
The Honeys.
Yes.
For the
What
Honeys.
song was that he was playing in the? I didn't recognize it in the gym there.
It's an artist from France whose name I will not pronounce, but eventually I'll
okay.
put in the chat. But he was like, after is funny. So again, tomorrow at 9 a.m. on our YouTube, Underneath the Nation Networks, make sure to subscribe. We will have an exclusive moment with Pascal talking about a moment that has never happened for any other Raptor or Indiana Pacer. But he was not expecting that honey question. So after he's like, I can't believe you brought that up. I'm like, you said it, not me.
That was a deep cut. Well done. Like if you're singing, if you're trying to serenade some girls in high school and you're singing in French, like that sounds like a win. Even if you're you know, the octave isn't, you can't really hit the higher register, or maybe the melodies aren't really coming together. I think it's a win if you're singing in French, one of the love languages. So maybe Pascal was playing coy. He absolutely didn't expect that curveball. Like that was out of his zone. He's like, what? But nice job there with Peace skills.
Which brings me to you, Dan. What did you do to woo the Honeys in high school?
Yes. Just I spoke Italian. That's ultimately, you know, just all the Italian whisper sweet nothings. You know, make a nice bowl of pasta. That's the best way to do it.
Well, I can't wait to find out what an Olympic champion's way was to woo the Honeys, because right now we are joined by Olympic gold medalist on the sheet, Brad Jacobs. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're clapping to ourselves. I'm pretty sure he's here. Maybe not. Maybe.
All right, we're trying to bring Brad in.
There we go.
There
Hey,
he is.
Brad, how are you? Hey, we'll clap again. Hey. We appreciate
Hold the applause.
you joining.
Hold the applause.
Yeah, we will never hold the applause for you, sir. Thank you for joining us, Lindsay, Dan, and Cabbie. We're happy to have you here. We just had Pascal Siakam on, where he was talking about how back in high school he would sing and woo the Honeys. I'm curious if in your high school days you also rode a mechanical bull, and that led to you then, you know, having that groin injury last year that people have been bringing up for a year.
Yeah, I was listening to a little bit of with Siakam there, and I was wondering, what am I getting myself into coming on this podcast right now?
Yeah, that's the right thought.
It's the right question
Yeah,
you're asking
yeah.
yourself there, Brad. You're veteran. You're just seasoned veteran. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was no wooing of any honeys back in high school for me. Zero game. But no, I had a long-term girlfriend. That was about it. That was fun. But yeah, hurt my groin last year on a mechanical bull. I will never ever ride a mechanical bull ever again. And it's funny, I can actually still feel that spot a little bit when I do certain movements, but it doesn't affect the way that I perform on the ice, which is good.
Which is all that matters. And I do want to bring up, you are going to the Olympics. It's been a hot minute since you've been there, just over a decade. So when you book that ticket, that you're qualifying, because obviously it's a lot of work to get there, a lot has happened in life, a lot of life has changed. How did you celebrate?
How did we celebrate? Well, Halifax is a great town, as many of you probably know. So
Facts.
it was quite the Olympic trials that week. It's just a great city for the fans, for the venue, proximity to everything downtown, bars, restaurants, all that stuff. So we had lots of family support there. We went to the Patch. If any of you are familiar with curling and the Briar and the Scotties and the trials, they call it the Patch. It's like the big, huge bar with thousands of people in it after the game. So we went and took some pictures with some fans and had a few drinks, maybe stayed up a little later than we should have. But yeah, we had some fun. We like to have fun. You know, that's kind of in the curlers' DNA all across the country, I would say. is getting together after games and having a celebratory drink, and buying the winning team buys the losing team a drink and whatnot. We don't really do that at our level. However, when a big week like that is over, and especially if you win, we're going to celebrate.
We know what curling means across this country, and how many great teams there are across the country. Like, how much of a sweat is the Canadian trials to get to the Olympics?
Yeah, it's a tough event. It kind of, at least in my experience, we've got a lot of experience on our team. Mark's been to 6 Olympic trials. He's going to his 4th Olympic Games, which is crazy. Ben, his 3rd Olympics, and myself and Brett, now 2 Olympics. I even said to the guys after we won the game, I'm like, I can't believe that I've played in 4 of these things, made the final 3 times, and now I've been lucky enough to win it twice. It's a grind. It kind of messes with your brain a little bit, especially when you start this season and the Olympic trials is a couple months away. It's the big prize that everybody wants to go and get and win. And it's tough because it's all or nothing. Like I said, we've won that game. We've lost that game. The last Olympic trials, we lost the final to Brad Gushue, and that was devastating, man. It really was. So, it's great to have that week over with and done, and we played really well. We got off to a slow start. We lost our first game, but we were able to rally off, I think it was 8 in a row, which was pretty impressive. We played awesome. Mark Kennedy stood on his head all week. I kind of joked and said that he blacked out in that final and woke up at the end and just made every shot. So yeah, it's pretty special. And to be able to wear the Maple Leaf again, just once again, it's something that we're not taking lightly. I think we're appreciating it. I know for myself, 12 years later, I'm really appreciating this one a lot more. Really looking forward to soaking all this in and sharing this experience with our family and our kids.
Yeah. Now the most important question, planning for the Olympics and it being in Italy this time, how much pasta do you plan to eat through this event here, Brad?
Well, we'll see. I've heard that the food over in Cortina is amazing, and actually a few people. So if you're not familiar with Sault Ste. Marie is kind of like Little Italy. We have lot of people. Oh yeah. We have a lot of people that immigrated over from Italy, just over the generations. And actually, my father-in-law was born in northern Italy, in the province of Treviso. So
nice.
My father-in-law came over here when he was 3 years old. So the Italian traditions run deep in Sault Ste. Marie, and certainly in our family as well. He's really excited. My mother and father-in-law are excited to be able to go back to Italy and see. There's tons of family waiting for them over there, just sort of south of where we're going to be playing. So yeah, they're going to soak in a lot of the Italian traditions, and I'm sure a big part of that's going to be food. Myself, I'll probably lay off the pasta a little bit for sure. I don't want to be putting on 10 pounds while we're at the Olympics. I don't think that'll be great for performance. But it'll be hard. I actually heard the fish over there is even better than the pasta in northern Italy. So just looking forward to trying everything.
Amazing stuff. So I'm going to have to connect with you on some good Italian restaurants for the next time I'm in the Sioux, because as an Italian myself, it sounds pretty amazing. I saw you do a video with your teammates on the Canada website, and it's who's most likely video. And honestly, it just seems like you guys are so connected as a group. How important is that going into a big event like the Olympics?
Yeah, I've been lucky in my career to be on teams that have a great team dynamic. What can I say? And when I joined this group of guys, I think the easiest thing for us, I mean, Mark and Ben have a long history, played together since their early 20s. So that's there, obviously they're quite close. But we all get along. We all have very similar interests. We're just a bunch of jocks, really. We like to joke around about the same things and have fun. The team dynamic aspect for me is probably the most important thing on a sports team, on a curling team. Curling's a little bit unique, as you guys probably know. It's just four guys or 4 gals. Everyone is, responsible for making the curling shot. I think it's the ultimate team sport. Nobody sits on the bench at any point in time. You know, we're all out there competing together, and it's really important that you like one another and get along off the ice as well. And that's always been one of the most important things for me. We can all figure out, you know, communication, how we want to throw the rock, and work on our skills and develop and get good. But the team dynamic, when that's natural, like it is for our team, it's something really special.
Love it.
Brad, you're known as I don't know if I would call it a fitness freak, but you're known as someone who takes their fitness very seriously. And the conversation about pasta has made me think of this. Historically, curling is associated with like beer and cigarettes, maybe some whiskey. When are we going to see the squad out? And things are different now in 2026. When are we going to see the squad out there in like basketball jersey type uniforms so we can get, you know, we can see the gun show when you guys are sliding the granite down the sheet of ice?
Well, did you watch the last Grand Slam at all in Steinbach, the U.S. guys?
I did not.
John Schuster's team?
Yeah.
They did exactly what you just said. They cut the sleeves off their jerseys, and of course, they all have tattoos. So they're the couple of them had like sleeves going. So that's starting to happen. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We're not cutting the sleeves off of ours anytime soon. But you're right. You know, curling has really developed and evolved over the years. It's, you know, we are athletes. We are athletes now. Not that we weren't ever, but I think we're a lot more viewed as athletes. The fitness side of things, you look at the curlers out there, men and women, they're in really great shape. And, you know, even remember when we were in Sochi in 2014, sort of standing and being around and hanging out with the hockey guys, the NHL guys, and fitting right in, which was pretty neat. You know, we were about the same size as those guys, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's changed, but certainly still every once in a while, you know, we'll have a couple cold beers, a couple whiskeys. Absolutely. We're not smoking cigarettes or anything like that. But, you know, a lot of the teams out there aren't afraid to get together, enjoy one another's company from time to time, and have a cold one. For sure.
Brad, I have two more for you. You took a sabbatical from the game in around March 22 and then returned full time in 2024. Was that I missed the competition thing, or was it like Tom Brady in like your family was driving you crazy and you needed to get back to work?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Okay, all right. But, I appreciate the honesty. Love being at home with the family as much as possible. But yeah, you know what? Just to that point in my career, I felt like I had given it everything I had. And we had just finished a quadrennial. The cycle was over with. I knew that if I wanted to take a little break from the game and just sort of reassess my love for the sport, that was the season to do it in. That's kind of a season, the first season after the Olympics is one where you can try something new, and points and world ranking and all that stuff don't quite matter as much. So that was the time to do it. In my heart and in my gut, I felt like I needed to do that. And I think it was actually the best thing for me because I came back, you know, refreshed and hungry and ready to go. And I watched a lot of curling that season too. And one of the things I realized was, if I don't get back involved in the sport like quickly here, these guys are going to surpass me and I'll never be able to sort of get back to the top or work our way to the top. So I needed to get back quickly. And what can I say? Got on a couple great teams, and this team's had a lot of success in the last 12 months, and it was worth it. And you're a big part of that success. Last question for you from me. Lindsay did an interview recently with gold medalist Andre DeGrasse. And when asked about gamesmanship, DeGrasse said that competitors will try to get in each other's minds by just having these stare downs and then try to make their competitors feel uncomfortable. What is the version of that in curling that we as fans do not see on the broadcast?
Ooh, that's a good one. We don't have stuff like that. We're not staring each other down. Although, funny story, back in 2014 in Russia, I remember we were going out to play the Russian team in Russia, and we were in the tunnel before the game. And Ryan Fry looked at me and said, I just had a stare down with one of the guys on that other team for like a minute, which it probably wasn't a minute. It was probably like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And I immediately said, well, who looked away first? And he said, I did. And I'm like, what are you doing?
We're losing our edge. We can't lose our edge before the match, bro.
But we went out and we won that game, and that was a big game for us to win because we ran the table after that. And actually, right here sitting beside me, funny enough, I have the Olympic gold medal, guys.
Oh,
there it is.
Let's go.
Yeah, we applaud that.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't often bring this out, but we're actually having an event here at the office tonight before we go to the Olympics, and people wanted me to bring it, so I have it. Would love to have another one though, that's for sure. But I think in curling, to answer your question, I think that the intimidation type of thing, or gamesmanship, or whatever you would call it, the more confident a team is all around, I'd say just the more intimidating that can be. And I think we've been on both sides of that. You know, I certainly remember for years playing against Team Gushu and just kind of entering the field of play. And it's like you already know you're kind of beat, and that sucks. But on the flip side, you know, when you have that in your favor, you can kind of sense and feel that with the other team, like whatever's going on here, and you can feel that vibe and that tension. We have something right now, you know, one leg up on this team for whatever reason. But we're all pretty friendly with one another out there, that's for sure.
Well, I hear that, and then I think of back in the day, Randy Furby. For me, just being in the same building of that man, to me, was terrifying and intimidating. But that was not the case just being around the Furbster, which I'm pretty sure nobody calls him that, ever.
Furby was like before my time.
I know. But like,
so I've only known... Yeah, I've only known Randy really like since he retired from the game. And in that setting, he's just a lot of fun, really.
Yeah. Different Randy. I can't imagine. I remember watching him over the years, and like, that man intimidates me, and I'm watching from home, but you have such an intimidating stare down that I feel like even if you don't think there's mind games, or when just watching you when you're going to release that rock, I'm also terrified of you. And you're like the nicest, most fun guy ever. But I do have a serious question about the Olympics. What does training look like leading up to the actual games? Because I believe you guys are going to Europe. What kind of training that entails going to the actual games now?
Right. So, you know what, training for us, really for this team, the way that we trained started 4 years ago. Now, I wasn't part of that at the time. It was Brendan Botcher, and I came on and took over 2 years in. But really for this group of four, that's when it would have started. And so one of the things that I'm finding now, and I was asked the same question sort of in the summer, with it being an Olympic trials season coming up, like, are you doing anything different? Are you eating any cleaner or training any harder? And you know what, the answer really is no. We train hard enough, that's for sure. I'm 40 years old now, so just trying to stay in good shape, keep the body, everyone just needs to keep their bodies healthy. So not overdoing it, that's for sure. But we have some really great training systems in place that allow us to practice and train individually. We don't always have to be together, but we throw the rock almost identical, which is a very powerful thing. I'm headed out to, of course, we'll do a couple training camps. I'm headed out to Edmonton tomorrow for a couple of days to be with the guys before we go. So we'll get some really great team training in over the next couple days. And then we head over early. We're heading to Brunico, Italy. We're flying into Munich and then driving down into Italy with Rachel Holman's team. So we're going to be there at a two-sheet curling club with Mark Shirk making the ice and all of our coaches and support staff. So that's going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, we're not going to have Brett with us because him and Jocelyn are going to be playing mixed doubles at that time. But that's okay. Like I said, we have some really great systems in place, and it's going to be super valuable to have him and her, but because he's on our team, to have them hit the ice before we play and have him sort of relay information and let us know how it's feeling out there, I think is going to be really valuable. So we'll be ready to go, and really just looking forward to it. I don't want to wish that it comes too quickly, because I know that once it starts, it's going to be over like that. And really just want to take it day by day here.
Now, I am curious, so aside from like being dominant in curling, we're really excited for what can and hopefully will happen in the Olympics for you. What does one do with a Bachelor of Arts in Geography?
Not a whole lot. Yeah. Truthfully, I knew I wanted to do one thing when I was a kid, and that was play curling. I really didn't know what I wanted to do academically or for a career other than play curling. And luckily that's kind of worked out. So, but I do have my own financial business. I'm with World Financial Group, and I do that when, we're not curling and when I've got more time. But certainly the main focus over the last couple of years has been doing this exactly, getting, to the trials, winning the trials, representing Canada, going back to the Olympics. So all of the things that we've had to do have made it worth it.
We appreciate you so much being on the show. One last one before we let you go is Summer Olympics, when I was there covering them in Paris, Snoop Dogg was there doing commentary. We recently saw him do commentary for an LA Clippers game. If you could have anybody that's viewed as, a celebrity call one of your games, who would it be?
It would probably be Snoop Dogg.
You wouldn't know what's going on.
I think that guy's got to be one of the best human beings alive. He's so hilarious. I've been following a little bit, and we all know that he's going to be in Cortina at some point. Would love to come across him and get a selfie, take a picture, meet the guy. Because he's just an icon and so hilarious. And I don't think there's anyone else, truthfully, I would want to commentate a curling game other than him. I think that would be a blast.
I hope that happens. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Good luck in the Olympics. And as always, please stay away from any mechanical bulls. We appreciate your time.
You betcha. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Absolute legend, just on and off the
fun.
ice. I'm so excited for them to see what happens. And to think about him and Rachel Homan's team together in Italy, just practicing before the game. Like, if you love curling and especially Canadian curling, you're like, make a reality show out of this.
Road trip, picking the Spotify playlist, all those things.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Carpool karaoke, like, whew.
Yeah.
I like how he mentioned his teammate and his playing partner are like doing some advanced scouting. I think I understood it to be in Cortina, right? At the curling facility there in a mixed doubles championship. Or an event. So that's cool too. Like, make sure you bring home all the intel. Let us know everything you guys see or whatever, wear the Facebook, the glasses so we can just get is the ice, how's the topography of the ice to follow on your geography thing? Or are we going to have to add fixtures in the dressing room because it's, the thing isn't completed yet, or like what's going on? Anyway. It'll be
what I appreciate is you're doing that for us. You're going to Italy to scout it out for us about the Olympics. So, like, we appreciate you taking one for the team.
Well, I won't be in thank you, but I'll be in the Alps, so I won't be in Milano where like hockey's being played for our women's team or our men's team in Cortina. Listen, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, and I'll have some fun with Mark McMorris and Mikhail Kingsbury and Jack Crawford. There's a bunch of Canadians there who are our medal hopefuls, and I hope to be holding a few gold medals in interviews next month. So I'll definitely bring back some scouting reports, and I'll try to find either some fish. I don't know if I can bring fish on the plane, but as Brad mentioned, the fish, and you can't. Okay, maybe I got a vacuum sealer. I'll bring something back for the crew and from Italy, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll try to smuggle some fish back. And hopefully it doesn't cause an international scene.
I would love that immediately, Dan's like, you can't do that. Whereas I'm like, yeah, please do that. That's so exciting. This is great. I'm just going to get you in trouble.
Be like the Italian nonni trying to bring back salami from Italy. It's like, you can't bring this. The border security like, what are you doing? You can't do this. Oh, how did that get in there? Oh, strange.
Maybe they'll make an exception because it is the Olympics and they want to export their food all over the world. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'm willing to risk it all.
The chat just said, imagine, I think it was Little Willie Styles, imagine Cabbie doing skeleton. Can we get Cab to do like luge with a GoPro tied to his helmet or something? Like that would be.
I don't want to die.
You just talked about
living on Earth. I enjoy my life.
Brain injury on a mechanical bull. I don't even know what would happen to Cabbie in any scenario outside of that. So like, no, we're just going to put you in bubble wrap.
All that, bro.
Stay away from all of that. I would like to bubble wrap the Leafs fan base maybe for what could be a wild week. They're taking on the Minnesota Wild. I'm just kidding. I hope it's an exciting week on the ice. They're taking on Minnesota, but I just want to do a quick recap of what happened in Winnipeg. Yes, they won in OT. Domi was set up by Matthews on a great moment, but if you didn't see it, Matthews had this little moment after the game.
Matthews was getting sassy with the Winnipeg crowd, giving them as he's getting off the ice and they're giving him the jeers. He gives the little, oh yeah, let me hear it.
Let's
get
right into what Scott Laughton did too.
Yeah. And then Scott Laughton was giving it to some Winnipeg fans as well from the Leaf bench because crybaby face as he's running across the ice to get to the away dressing room. I
love this.
What was the deficit? Was it Leafs were down 3-1 or 2-0 in that game? 3-1 and then 1 in OT. Like, yeah, absolutely. Give it to that fan base. Like, suck it. You know what I
mean? and the game in Toronto not that long ago, I think it was New Year's Day. Winnipeg had a 4-1 third period lead in that game, and the Leafs came back
and they
to win
6-5. I think was the Yeah. So I love that as we're all on board with Matthews and Laughton just having fun with the fans because the fans say some real ruthless, reckless ish that we never hear that the players absorb.
It's also because Mark Scheifele, I can't remember exactly when the video is from, but a previous year where the Jets beat the Leafs and there was a video posted after by the Jets where it's like Mark Scheifele's like, yeah, nothing better than beating Toronto or nothing better than beating the Leafs. And Leafs Nation has not forgotten and they keep the receipts for all these times the Leafs are giving it to the Jets since then.
I am loving the energy around this team right now. And from the team, they got 5 of 8 points on the road. Did you view the road trip as a success, Dan?
Absolutely, it was a success. It wasn't always pretty, right? But the blown lead in Vegas was not the best, but and certainly getting your doors blown off against the Utah Mammoth in Salt Lake was also ugly, but it was a 10:30 game. How many people really watched it? It was 2-1-1 on a road trip like that with all the travel that they had to do going Colorado or Denver to Salt Lake, then to Vegas, then up to Winnipeg before coming back to Toronto. 4 games in 6 nights. It's pretty brutal as far as travel is concerned for a road trip of that ilk. So to come away with a better than 500 record, probably best to just not ask how and just ask how many, and getting 5 of 8 is definitely good enough for the Leafs as they come back home now for a 5-game homestand, which is you look at this schedule and it's a gauntlet of teams.
Brutal, bro. It is a gauntlet, man.
Minnesota tonight, who's one of the 6th best team in the league since Quinn Hughes showed up. Detroit, who's top of the Atlantic Division. You've got Vegas, the Mitchie game on Friday, Colorado, Buffalo to close it out. I mean, it's like a who's who of the National Hockey League right now. The five of the hottest teams in the league all on this homestand for the Leafs.
We have to document this. We have to remember this moment, Lindsay, next Wednesday after the 5-game homestand and just either, hey, we're in pretty good spirits now. Let's just see what we're going to be like in 10 days after the Leafs run through this gauntlet. Man, that is a tough stretch, as Dan just outlined our Toronto's upcoming opponents. Whew, boy.
It could be a very interesting week, like you mentioned. Next Wednesday, we could be a little bit sad. We could be happy. We could be celebrating. I could get back to planning the parade. Again, I'm hoping for some great moments on the ice from all of the buds, but they're taking on Quinn Hughes for the first time since he was dealt to Minnesota. And goalie update was Anthony Stolarz. He was dealing with nerve issues. They're expecting him to be back on the ice by the end of the season. So a good problem to have is having too many goalies that could all be really good. But there was a trade that happened. A trade that I think everyone was waiting for a year to happen that involved Vegas and Calgary. Cabbie, when you saw Rasmus Andersson go to Vegas, what was your immediate reaction to this? Because, hey, there were rumors that this potentially could be a player that ended up on the Leafs.
I guess it was about time, I suppose. His name was one of those names that have been floated in the rumor verse or NHL rumors for a very long time. And I know Dan has more details on this deal. As someone that currently lives in Calgary, I know that the fan base has been clamoring for them to just kind of shut it down for the season, trade off some assets or some players to get some future assets, and I guess it was kind of relief. But and it's just the embarrassment of riches on the Vegas Golden Knights. As someone who lived in Vegas before, I've only heard great things about this club, and around the NHL, it is widely known that Vegas is the team that so many free agents want to go play for because of the stability of the franchise, the quality of life, and then the performance of the team, most importantly. And Rasmus Andersson has a great opportunity to at least compete in the Western Conference. I mean, Edmonton's going to have a word, and so will Colorado, but we're going to get some, cinema at that point in like May in the Western Conference. But yeah, I guess relief, or I guess it's about time for Rasmus to be traded. Dan, how'd you see this one?
Calgary is just kind of in that spot, right? Like where they're in a rebuilding phase. And my first immediate reaction when I saw the deal and saw the details of the deal, I don't know if you guys are Breaking Bad fans, but the Jesse Pinkman in me came out. Now, how do they keep getting away with that?
Yeah.
How? Because how is it always Vegas? It's always Vegas. They always get their guy. They always get the guy they need. And this time it's Rasmus Andersson. He's the best rental on the market. And you look at what they paid for him, and Calgary got a decent package given the circumstances, but I would have thought that you get a decent prospect as well instead of a guy who was drafted in the 7th round. No disrespect to the prospect that was dealt in this deal, but I would have expected maybe not a blue chipper, but one of Vegas's better prospects, somebody that had been drafted in the 1st round prior, much like what the Leafs gave up for Brandon Carlo last year, a 1st round pick, top 5 protected, and Fraser Minton, who was drafted in the 1st round by the Leafs. But they don't get that. In Vegas, as this was all playing out, last summer I'd heard a bunch of, just people talking around the league, and it's like, Rasmus Andersson, he's going to end up in Vegas. And, it just kind of became public knowledge or somewhat knowledge around the league that, Rasmus Andersson's going to end up in Vegas if it happens in the summer or sometime during the season. Like he's going to be a Vegas Golden Knight. That's where he wants to play. And so Boston gets in the mix. The Leafs were rumored to be trying to put together a package with, marbles and some old Canadian coins. I don't know what Brad Treliving has to trade these days. Not much. But they were rumored to try and trade for Rasmus Andersson. It's just like you don't have what it's going to take to get this deal done. Somehow Vegas does. And once Rasmus Andersson says, I'm not signing an extension anywhere, essentially Vegas is the only team that's going to make that deal, because guess what? Vegas already knows, as Cabbie outlined, we're pretty confident that we're going to be able to get this guy. And it just felt similar as well to how the Mitch Marner situation played out last spring, where the whispers started happening that, Mitch seems to like Vegas quite a lot. And Mitch ended up in Vegas. It didn't end up getting to free agency. They make the trade so that he could sign an 8-year deal there, essentially a sign and trade. It was and feels very similar to that. And Vegas just, I can't hate on them, but they know what they've got, and they keep playing to those advantages to the highest way. And it's going to continue. They're not the Dodgers because they can't spend more than anybody else, but they still find a way to build out one of the best teams.
I hate
every
that
single
word.
year.
I hate that word. I don't like hearing it. Dodgers. Let's ban it. Let's ban it for the next 24 hours on the show.
The Dodgers.
No, but I am curious, Dan. So for those listening or watching at home, Cabbie's in a studio. I'm in a bit of a home studio, and I'm just curious what the conversation is like for you where you're recording after, when you are yelling moments like that. I have no idea what the context is at all. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
are you okay in there?
Especially what you yelled, how they keep getting away with
That's
this.
what I'm saying.
Like, some of the other rooms, like, what the hell's going on over there?
The neighbors are like, what is he talking about? Who's getting away with what?
Yeah.
Turn the TV down. No, that's just me.
Well, it seems.
How would you rate my Jesse Pinkman, by the way? Like out of 10, was it
9.5? Excellent.
For someone that has no idea who you're referencing, 10 out of 10, buddy. 10 out of 10. I would give you the Emmy for that performance, because
All right. Well, thank
I'm
you.
sure whoever Jesse.
It is award season, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you can have the Emmy for that. It's all yours. But some awards could have been given away to the refs on the weekend. Some people think that there was some bad reffing that happened in the NFL. But when it comes to an OT game between a little team called LA versus another team, Chicago, this was insane. Let's just set it up with how cold it was that they had to apparently put some cayenne pepper in their socks. And then this also a shot was they had chicken broth and hot chocolate on the sidelines, which I'm hoping somebody
those marshmallows
underneath and marshmallows and some candy.
Marshmallows.
Just
need a little sugar for the rest of the game. Why not?
I'm learning all kinds of cold hacks, like when it's freezing outside to put pepper in your socks, which Dan sent in the group chat a photo of somebody's socks after that we're not going to show you because it looks like somebody went to the bathroom and then put the toilet paper on the floor. But yeah, this is just, I never heard of this. I think it's entertaining.
Cayenne pepper in your shoes, in your socks? Nobody's ever heard of feet warmers?
Seriously, they don't have hot pockets over there?
What does the cayenne pepper do? It feels like it would be more like it would be cause more of it would be an irritant. Yeah, it would cause more irritation than anything. I remember 2016, the MLS Cup final. I was covering its sideline at BMO Field. I could not feel my toes, so I wish I would have known the cayenne pepper hack back then. But I could, what was it? 18 degrees Fahrenheit, -7. Cab, you were saying, who knows what the wind chill was?
At Soldier Field. It was supposed, when we did our show on Friday, it was supposed to be like 7. I don't know. At night, with that wind in Chicago, it probably felt like, I don't know, to Americans, maybe -3, to Canadians, just another spring day. But I'm sure it was for
tarps off,
the duration that. Yeah, tarps. It was cool. I mean, the action on the field was hot. There were some highlights, and if you don't mind me just getting on a soliloquy right now, there was CJ Stroud. He had an IG story that resurfaced from 2014, and in this IG story, he said the top 5 quarterbacks in the league based off of last year, so based off of 2023. He had Patrick Mahomes 1, Lamar Jackson 2, CJ Stroud 3, Josh Allen 4, and Dak Prescott 5. Remove CJ Stroud and put Caleb Williams in that top 5. Now this is the part that's kind of bleeping with me because Matt Stafford is the MVP of the 2025 season. But is Matt Stafford a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? It should be. Yes, of course. It makes sense if you're going to win the MVP. But what Caleb Williams, I know Josh Allen has played like a superhero. So is Caleb Williams. And specifically, we're talking 27 seconds left in the game. Chicago's down 17-10 on their home field. It's the fourth quarter. It's this mother bleeper, Caleb Williams, runs 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage and then uncorks on his back foot, throws 45 yards in the air, an absolute dart to Cole Kmet to send the game into overtime. The kid is just electric. Chicago's had 7 fourth quarter comebacks this season. They only won 12 games. It was just unbelievable theater. And yes, we know that LA won the game in overtime 2017 thanks to Harrison Mevis, the thicker kicker. We got the big dumper in the MLB, we got the thicker kicker in the NFL. Those guys need to collab. Remember those Hungry Man microwave dinners? They need to collab on, or maybe a chunky soup campaign or something like that. But yeah, Cal Raleigh and the thicker kicker. But it was just it was unbelievable. And credit to Matt Stafford. Absorbed 4 sacks, had 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, threw for under 50% completion, still won the game. He's off to face Sam Darnold in the NFC Championship game. The game was unbelievable. And Stafford had some great moments. That throw to Devontae Adams in OT, gets both feet in. I mean, he's an all-world receiver. To me, the best game of the weekend. I don't know how you guys experienced it, but I can imagine playing in that. Bro, it was 41-6.
It was a close game.
Right from the opening kickoff. It was fantastic.
I roll.
It was great.
Oh my gosh.
I turned the channel after the opening kickoff. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
The
only
sheets
person
of
I knew
heat
that was
taking
that
it to
happy
the
was
house,
you.
and then it was just belt to ass for the full 4 quarters. It was great.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Dan. When we have 4
They could
quarterbacks
have had
remaining in
Nathan
the
Peterman at quarterback. They still would have won that game. It was great.
Well, hey, Denver might as well get Nathan Peterman, bro, because it's in the look AFC. It's Jarrett Stidham because is the backup quarterback. Because Bo Nix is out with what was his injury?
Ankle.
Ankle injury. Then again, Drake May, and then you have Sam Darnold, who's his oblique. I don't know what the status is of his oblique, and then it's Matthew Stafford. So it feels like LA has, if you're just going on the strength of the quarterbacks, LA's got the clear best quarterback remaining to play in that game in San Francisco in like 3 weeks.
It's, of course, Matthew Stafford is the best track record. He's got the best resume of anybody remaining. The Seahawks, to me, have the best team remaining, and that's going to decide what's going to happen through this Final Four. But for me, the game that came away and still got a lot of storylines to it today, because Sean McDermott has been fired per reports. The Bills moving on from their head coach after what was a wild one on Saturday and against the Broncos. To have Josh Allen crying after the game saying he let his team down with the 5 turnovers. You can't win a football game with 5 turnovers. It was really 4, and the refs just, kind of screwed you with that last one there, Josh. But, he's crying because I think he sees the writing. Like, I don't have to go through Mahomes or Jackson. This was supposed to be my year, and I just fumbled it at the goal line for me and my guys. And he takes that on because he is the Superman of that team. And 4 turnovers is not something we're used to seeing out of Josh. At 5 turnovers is not something we're used to seeing out of Josh Allen. But ultimately, like, Sean McDermott loses his job, and the Bills are left wondering, what if that call had gone our way? It's totally valid. There was a similar play in the Rams-Chicago game in the 4th quarter. Devontae Adams makes a catch as he's going down. A Bears player rips it out of his hands, and they still called it a catch. And every Bills fan is just, what? What? This is what happened to us? And yet they didn't get that call. And it's, I feel for Bills fans, Bills Mafia, they are as legendary as anybody can be. The Bills, there's moments in that game that, you can't blame it all on the refs, like Sean McDermott did after the game, saying he's sticking up for Buffalo and all that. But it's still the play that probably had the biggest impact on the game, because if it is ruled the catch, the Bills go on to win and punch their ticket to the AFC Championship. So I feel for Bills fans this morning.
Mother bleepers. Damn that game. I'm still upset about.
I think the correct term in Buffalo is jagoff. Is that what it is?
It might be.
I'm still peeved about that game. I'm salty about it. I had to check in on Jack Armstrong. I sent him a message just to make sure that he was okay. Just straight up BS. He was okay. He was on the call last night. Whatever. We have a lot of exciting football that we'll talk about the next couple of weeks, and maybe Dan will be really happy if the Seahawks can continue to have wonderful moments and non-close games. Yeah, we need a happy Dan on this show. But right now, let's see how great you guys are going to be with your 416 Proline picks. When watching your favorite sports, make things interesting with Proline. Must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus online, and for Ontario residents only. Please play responsibly. Dan, you're up first.
Well, I'm looking at the Leaf game tonight, and I am not going with a Leaf. I'm going to look at the other side. Quinn Hughes, he grew up around the Leafs. His dad, Jim, obviously worked for the organization for some years. So Quinn and his brothers, they all grew up around Scotiabank Arena, or at that time, the Air Canada Centre. And he always seems to put his best foot forward when he is playing up against the Leafs. So I've got a Quinn Hughes assist tonight against the Maple Leafs in what is a big Monday nighter for Toronto.
All right, nice. I'm going to take it to the association on Dr. King Day. The San Antonio Spurs have won 3 in a row at home and welcome the Utah Jazz, who have lost 3 in a row on the road. Castle is an exciting young guard. He's the current last year's rookie of the year. And the player prop that intrigues me about Steph Castle is over 7.5 assists. In 3 of his last 4 home games, he's hit this total. He's hit over. So Utah is a top 6 offense. San Antonio is a top 8 offense. So my expectation is I anticipate a high scoring game. Go get your assists, young fella. And that is my Pro Line pick of the day.
Go get your assist, young fella. Thank you for everyone that joined us today on the chat underneath, the Nation Network on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe you join us on Instagram, X, or you're listening later. Thank you for joining us. I did see someone on the chat. You spoke to my nerdy hearts. They asked, what is the record that was in my background? I switch it every day, and it's Stereophonics, which is one of my favorite groups ever. And the album is called Make 'Em Laugh, Make 'Em Cry, Make 'Em Wait, which is exactly what we're going to have happen tomorrow when we talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to talk about the Raptors. We're going to talk about the Leafs, and you're either going to be happy, sad, you're going to cry, we're going to laugh. Who knows? All I know is we hope you join us tomorrow for another episode of Off the Roster.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube channel.